Good evening, everybody. This is the meeting of the Lee School Committee. It is Tuesday, May 7th at 7 o'clock, and we are in the Lee Middle and High School Library. We are continuing to be in a virtual meeting room for Governor Baker's order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law C 30A, Section 20. This meeting will be taking place in a hybrid fashion, both virtually via Zoom or in person for those committee members and attendees choosing to access in either manner. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Pursuant to Mass General Law C 30A, Section 20, I am hereby informing all attendees that a video and audio recording is being made of the meeting. Please join Julia Barrett in leading us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Julia, for joining us. Enjoy the sun. Yeah. The mission statement of Lee Public Schools is to ensure students opportunities to develop the social, civil, and critical thinking skills to thrive in an ever-changing world. Heidi, Linda, can you do a roll call for us?
Mr. Aubin. Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Ms. Kushirk,
Here.
Mr. Langwa,
Here.
Ms. Larmen,
Yes.
Mr. Nichols,
Here.
Ms. Strickler.
She's going to be joining at some point on Zoom. All right, next up is our approval of the April 2nd, 2024 Lee School Committee meeting minutes.
I motion to approve the April 2nd, 2024 Lee School Committee meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Brenda, can you roll call us, please?
Mr. Aubin, Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Kushirk,
Yes.
Mr. Langwa,
Yes.
Ms. Larmen.
Yes.
Mr. Nichols.
Yes.
Next up, we have public input.
Residents of Lee are invited to address the committee regarding items on this evening's agenda at this time. Issues raised will normally be referred to the administration or a subcommittee of the school committee.
All
Madam
right.
Chair, nobody.
Next up, we have reports, and our first is from our student representative, Sophia Hinton.
As of the clubs here, GSA held their Ally Week last week. They had a big poster at lunch where students could go up and put their thumbprint and sign their name to show their support of the LGBTQ plus community. The club was able to get many students to participate in it. Social Justice is planning an activity for Gun Violence Day, which is going to be taking place on June 7th. The student government has been focusing on recruiting new members for next year. Recently, we had our Lee Band and Chorus do their concert for family and friends on May 2nd, which was last Thursday. There are students who are interested in starting a compost bin for other students to dump their food into instead of sending the food to a landfill. The current plan is to have a tryout session with just the first lunch and deciding if any adjustments need to be made before proceeding to include the second lunch as well. Some seniors have committed to colleges and are finishing their school year with field trips and senior events. Seniors' final day is going to be May 23rd, and the day after, on May 24th, is going to be prom. And prom tickets are currently on sale at First Lunch. There's going to be a field trip to Six Flags for AP Physics. And there's another field trip tomorrow for Berkshire History class, and they will be going to Hancock Shaker Village. And for AP classes, students have been preparing for their AP tests, which will be taking place this week and next week. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Do you guys have questions for Sophia? I love the idea of the compost bin. That's great. All right, next up, we have our principals and director reports, and first up, we have Tim Murdock with Lee Elementary School. Oh, shoot, I skipped you, Mike. You want to go first?
Lots of shocks.
I am trying to get us home to our decks.
There you go.
I know.
It's a beautiful night. It's 7:04 and Miss Strickler just joined us. I am going to share my screen. And I will be as efficient as I can with my time for you. Tomorrow, is School Nurses Day. And so, thank you to our two school nurses for all they do, to keep our students, safe, healthy, and well, when they're in our buildings. We also know that they, work hard to complement the work that our faculty and staff do, and they also service their needs on occasion as well. So thank you, to Ms. Salvatore, and, to Ms. Del Soldado for the work that they're doing in our buildings. Why is that going? Go. And it is Teacher Appreciation Week, so happy Teacher Appreciation Week. And we maybe would have been better off saying Happy Educator Appreciation Week, because here in Lee, our faculty and staff work together so closely to make sure that the needs of our students are being met every day. So I want to personally thank them for everything that they do on a regular basis to keep our students well educated, happy, healthy, and engaged. Enrollment as of last Wednesday, May 1st, you can see, if I move this, that we're down just a little bit to 622 students, of which 141 of them are school choice, 46 are tuitioned in, 5 students are currently outplaced. Update on school choice, and we'll talk about this again a little bit later in the agenda. We had 25 total applications, 24 have accepted their invite, and we have 2 students on a waiting list for grade 7. You'll recall that grade 7 was a grade where we only made 1 seat available, but since that time, we've learned that a few students from Otis are not going to be coming to Lee Middle and High School, and so that provides an opportunity for a couple of these students on the waiting list to join the Lee Public Schools, and I will ask the committee to adjust its recommendations or approvals rather later in the meeting. The professional development planning has begun for next school year, and per contract, we have met with representatives from the LEA, including Mr. Joshua Hall and Ms. Michelle Polari. We are talking about convocation beginning on August 21st, and we have 2 guest speakers, Dr. Russell Johnston, who's the acting Commissioner of Education, and Mr. Ron Suskind, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist and best-selling author. I know that the faculty, staff, and all attendees will thoroughly enjoy the presence of both of those gentlemen at the meeting. We will also dedicate time to the continued implementation of instructional materials in ELA and math. We have dedicated some time to special education needs, particularly around inclusive practices and IEP implementation. Of course, on November 5th, we will, as has been tradition, participate in countywide PD. And then we're going to use the 14th of March to follow up on the PD from the first 4 days so that we make sure that nothing is a one and done engagement. Chronic absenteeism, you know that I've been working on this all year, and the initiative for improved attendance and perfect attendance over the last month or so has resulted in all those students listed on screen receiving some prizes. I'll name them because I think they deserve some recognition. Brianna Perez, Emmy Diskowitz, Alexander Richardson, Jackson Nichols, Christopher Rexford, Gianna Carlino, Kayla Clark, Ashton Hallett, Camilla Ayala, Anna Murphy, Selena Roach, Brianna Barato, James Adams, and Vanessa Bartini. And thank you to those sponsors who have given us nice prizes to give out to those students. We will continue to do this over the next 7 weeks. And this is showing just a little bit about, I can't make any correlation to the prizes and the approved attendance, and the approved attendance is only marginal, but we'll take every improvement that we can get. So you can see at LES, it's a couple of percentage points. At LMHS, it's just a fraction of percentage points. But regardless, at this time of the year, the fact that more students are coming to school as we have beautiful days like today is important. And so I appreciate that students and families are recognizing the value of being in school each and every day. Just quick notes. We know that annual town meeting here in Lee is this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock here at the Lee Middle and High School Auditorium. And in Tyringham, our Union 29 partner, it's next Tuesday, May 14th at 7 o'clock at Town Hall, which is the reason we're meeting tonight, not next Tuesday. Today is the 156th day of school. We're almost there. The last day of school is Tuesday, June 11th. And then the last thing is, to all of our committee members and members of our community, happy Mother's Day this coming Sunday. You all work very hard in everything that you do, for your families, and I want to, just thank you, for that and recognize, your efforts as moms, to so many. Some are your own and some are the adopted, and some are just those that you bring into your families, at a personal and professional level. So thank you very much and happy Mother's Day. That's it.
Perfect. I would also like to thank the education staff on behalf of the school committee for all of the hard work. And it's a shame you get 1 week a year. I feel like they should have a month like everybody else. All right, that's my 2 cents. Principals and directors reports. First up, Tim Martin.
Hey, everybody. The LES drama program held a performance a few weeks ago of a custom adaptation of Through the Looking Glass. It was a packed house full of enthusiastic families supporting the 62 students that participated. I'd like to give a shout out to Rachel Cannon and Sarah Nichols, whose vision and hard work made this production possible. Thank you also to Dresser Hall, who provided all the materials used for the set, as well as the many parents and guardians that helped out behind the scenes. It was a big production, and I'm so proud and happy that we have drama back at LES. Looking forward to next year. The last walk to school of the year took place on May 1st. We were joined by several St. Mary's students, faculty members, and members of their administration. Thank you to the Lee Police Department, Lee Fire Department, Lee EMS, Lee DPW, who helped ensure the safety of this walk. Special thanks as well to Jen Carlino, Julia Warner, and Lori Curtin for helping facilitate all of these walks throughout the year. ELA MCAS took place last month before break and went very smoothly. Next week, grades 3 to 6 will be taking math MCAS, and 5th grade will also be taking their science MCAS. Progress reports for quarter 4 were sent to parents and guardians of students in grades 3 through 6 yesterday. 2 spring concerts will take place later this month in the LMHS auditorium. 3rd and 4th grade concert will take place Tuesday, May 21st at 6:30. The 5th and 6th grade concert takes place May 22nd at 6:30. And we had the Flying Cloud in residency in 4th grade for about a week. And they did a showcase, which was pretty spectacular to watch. 4th grade students had set up several different exhibits, and other grade levels with students came through, and the 4th graders were teaching them about energy that they had learned through the residency. And it was pretty cool to watch students teaching students. It's always a pretty powerful thing to watch. And that's what I have for you this week.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Tim?
Just real quick, are we looking paving for the back, the playground there? Gonna run any conflicts with MCAS? Or are we looking good?
I don't have the answer to that, but we did discuss it in our.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I'll throw that right across the table.
I appreciate the question. What we did, as Tim just noted, we talked about it at our meeting today. Mr. Crocher is going to reach out to the town to ask or remind them, as we have already, about what our testing window is, and ask that they not begin this work next week. If they can delay it 10 days, we'll be in very good shape.
Cool, thanks.
All right, next up, we have Greg Briganti with Lee Middle and High School.
Thanks to Ms. Punton, I can cut several things out of my report. So,
Awesome, thank you.
you should have in front of you a sheet that I passed out before the meeting entitled Proposed Change to the Grading System for the High School. Just very quickly, because you can read that on your own, but many years ago, we started a journey here at LMHS towards competency-based grading. And it's a continuing journey. We are not fully there yet, but we are making progress and moving forward. Some things were delayed a little bit, as everything was during the couple of COVID years, but we are planning on getting back on track and implementing our next change. And what this is starting with next year's freshman class, next year's 9th graders, in order to earn credit for a course, not only will they have to pass the course overall, but they will have to pass each competency within the course. So for example, in an English class, you might have a competency for reading, a competency for writing, a competency for listening and speaking, and maybe a mechanics competency as well. So starting next year, for those 9th graders, in order to earn that credit for English, not only will 9th graders have to get at least a 60 overall in the course, but they'll have to get at least a 60 in each one of those competencies. The idea there being that we've identified those competencies as the key components that students should be able to show mastery for in a course. So therefore, we're gonna make this change and it will allow us to kind of segue to, I think, what is a much more beneficial model of summer school for any students who need that. In the sense that the summer school teacher for each student can focus on the competency or competencies where that student needs some additional support instead of trying to cover everything for every student. So I think it's going to just simply reinforce that, you know, it's important to kind of master all components of a course as opposed to just maybe 2 out of 4 or something like that. So this was approved by the LMHS faculty last spring. We delayed putting this into place until next year because we wanted to make sure we had a chance to talk to parents and stuff like that. And we had our reconstituted parent advisory school council this year, and in November, they fully supported this as well. So we're going to go ahead and put this in place for next year's 9th grade. That will follow them through as they go to 10th grade, so 11th grade, 12th grade. But the idea being that we're not changing the model for kids who have already entered the high school. Just for those who are entering starting next year in 9th grade. So please feel free to look that information over. And if you have some questions that pop up outside of tonight's meeting, please let me know and I'd be happy to answer those. The last item for me is some invitations to some of our 3 big year-end events. The first being class night for the senior class, which is Thursday, May 30th at 6:30 here in the auditorium. You are all welcome to attend. Graduation on Saturday, June 1st at 1:30 at Tanglewood. And then the 8th grade bridging ceremony will be Monday, June 10th at 9:30 here in the auditorium at LMHS. So those are our big end of the year celebrations, and you are certainly most welcome to attend any or all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like Betsy's got a question for you.
It's our end, Betsy. It's technical on our end.
It's not up very high. Did you see it when you pressed it? Yeah. Yeah. I'll put something in the chat.
Oh, there we go. Very good. There, Jeff.
All right. I was really just wondering about with the competency, which I'm excited to hear how that factors in with, for example, English language learners and other sort of core group of kids. Are there any modifications made or how that works within some of those subgroups?
Well, there's no modifications made to the idea that they have to pass all competency. Where the modifications come into place is their plan and their program may modify the assessments that feed into that grade. So certainly the assessments are modified as necessary. That will then, in relation, will modify the grade to some extent, but they'll have whatever modified assessments that their plans call for.
That'd be IEPs, correct, Jen? So our special ed students are all set? Great deal.
All right, any other questions for Greg? All right, moving on to Jen Norton in special education.
We are really focusing on our summer services currently. We have posted internally, and I think we're gonna have enough staff internally to cover our summer programs. We always have the bulk of our programs are at the elementary school. So we have tutoring for kindergarten through 6th grade students that require special education services over the summer. We also have a developmental program over the summer. We have a life skills program down here in this building. And we also have funding to do a tutoring program for our ELL students. So we have, I think last year, Mr. Mertnook and I had almost 70 students total between my programming in both buildings and his programming. So we were able to hit
a large percentage of our students. And most of the programming is for 4 weeks from June 24th to July 18th. Some of our more intensive programs do go an additional week and get us through the end of July. I also have some students who attend local camps like Camp Russell, based on their IEPs and how that was determined. We just want kids to have what they need over the summer so that they can come back in August and they're not experiencing a large amount of regression. We are also posting any of our open or anticipated open positions for next year. Our biggest focus is really paraprofessionals. Between retirements and current open positions. We do expect to have probably 6 openings for paraprofessionals. So that ad will be up and running shortly. And I encourage anyone who would like to work, whether you would like to substitute or come in and work full-time, we have plenty of spots. And that's in both buildings, but I think primarily we're looking to fill some in the middle and high school, which normally it's the other way around. A lot of times we have openings in the elementary level, but it just worked out that way this year. We are done with our tiered focus monitoring process. We're just waiting on our report from the state. And we are making gains. We're adding some new curriculum for our ELL students. So we're in the process of working with the collaborative in Northampton to choose the best collaborative. They don't have a preferred one on DESE, where I know like in reading and math, they have curriculums. For ESL, they haven't come forth with that. So we're just trying to make sure that whatever we buy now is going to last and be able to be useful over the next number of years. That is actually all I have right now.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Jen? All right, and next up we have, it's Jeff, correct? Jeff
Yes.
Frosher for facilities. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Happy to have you here. What would you like to share with us?
Very excited to be here. I've been here a month and I'm getting to know everybody and this is a great place to work. We're getting our Ford F-50 truck in the next couple weeks. All right. We went down and had the driver measured for the controls and they're almost done with it.
Fabulous.
Maintenance, grounds and custodial is fully staffed. We got a couple weeks left of sports. And then we're getting ready for the end of the year events and our summer work. And that's pretty much it for now.
I'm excited about the truck. We're waiting forever for that thing. It might be a good winter this year.
I was there.
It probably won't snow at all. Any questions from Jeff?
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Very happy to be here.
All right, next up, we have our committee reports. First up is, and only up is Finance Committee.
So we met earlier this evening. We talked about warrants. Mr. Jesper, if you will.
Our 2 warrants since our last meeting for accounts payable, total $235,340.78. The first warrant is for $140,842.26, and it is made up. The largest vendors are Branches, Dufour, and Hillcrest. And our second warrant is for $94,498.52, and the large vendors for that warrant are Dufour, Sprague, and Valley Educational.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Keep going.
No, it's your
Okay.
meeting.
I'll entertain a motion for the accounts payable.
I'll make a motion. Sure.
All at once.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable in a total of $235,340.78.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Brenda, can you do a roll call?
Mr. Robin,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Keshirk.
Yes.
Mr. Langwa,
Yes.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes.
and Ms. Strickler.
Yes.
I would also like to approve it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna be here.
I know. We don't want to be home. Okay, next up.
Yeah, yes, payroll, Mr. Jesper, please.
So the 2 payroll warrants total $604,048.02.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion again for to approve the payroll warrants in the total of $604,048.02.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Brenda, can you do a roll call, please?
Mr. Robin?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Abstain.
And Ms. Strickler?
Instead of abstaining.
And this real fast, we have another meeting that's scheduled, for June 10th at 5:30 for the finance subcommittee. It's actually a joint meeting with the town finance committee. And I believe it's going to be discussing, FY 26 budget. So for all the committee members that are here, you're welcome to attend, and be part of the audience. Same for the union if you'd like, Mr. Hall. So we're talking about budget for FY 26 with the town finance committee. That's all I have from the finance subcommittee this evening.
All right. When was that? The 10th?
June 10th, at 5:30.
You can be in the audience, but you can't participate because you're not part of the finance committee. Okay. All right. Next up, we have old business, school choice adjustments.
So, as I mentioned earlier, in my presentation, I am asking, tonight for the school committee, to take a vote to increase the number of seats available in grade 7 from 1 to 3, so that we can accommodate those people who have applied. I will tell you that at this stage, here, approaching, I guess, ending the first week of May, the likelihood of gaining additional, applications at this point is pretty slim. There haven't been any recent additional inquiries, so I feel comfortable moving that number from 1 to 3, again, based on, a couple of students from Otis not coming to Lee Middle and High School next year.
A motion to adjust grade 7 school choice seats from 1 to 3.
Second. Now you can vote.
Second.
Any discussion? I just have a question. With the number of kids that aren't coming from Otis, could we make it larger than 3? I just know we need to keep our school choice increment, like, if we're gonna keep funding things out of it, we gotta keep bringing people in.
This would bring us slightly over 60. I think it would bring us to 61.
Okay,
Our goal for middle school is 60.
okay, that's fine.
I mean, one wouldn't kill us, but
That's okay.
I
I just
think
wanted to
in the
ask.
future, if you were, in my opinion, if we do have any more 7th grade applicants, and we have a better picture of what the classes look like once the master schedule is built, we can then come back and once again ask the committee to increase that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I guess my opinion would be that, if we have, if we have a grade that's full, and we have like someone that's showing up with like one kid in like grade 3 or whatever, as an example. I'd be happy to entertain that, to bring kids in the district, so.
All we need to do for the state, and it's already been submitted, is which grades are open for school
Yeah.
choice. So that's already been submitted, so the state is aware of that. At this point, to your point, we can make adjustments to the numbers at any point.
Okay,
Wonderful.
all right. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Robin?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
That was a yes.
All right, next up, we have new business. First is budget grant.
Here we go.
So at this point in the year, as we're starting to get a more full picture of where the budget is at, we'd like to come to you and ask for a couple of transfers in between DACs. The 308 DAC, which is for health, is in need of an additional $22,818. And that can come from the vocational DAC, which is 307. And then 311, which is operations and maintenance, is in need of $53,857, which can also come from 307 vocational. So the total amount vocational would be, that would be leaving vocational would be $56,675.
I will entertain a motion to Move the money around.
So like motion to approve the budget, proposed budget transfers?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Brenda, roll call us.
Mr. Robin?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keshurek?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
All right, next up, we have some proposed policy updates that need approval. Sounds like the policy committee met.
Yes, we met on April 23rd, 2024. I don't know if there's a particular order that you got in your packets, the policies that we have.
You pick the order.
Oh, that's fine. I have them all numbered, okay? Like I said, our policy subcommittee met on April 23rd, 2024. And we reviewed and looked over policies, and there are 9 of them. So I'm gonna start with the first one, which is file BD, school committee member compensation expense package. And it passed our first reading. It was approved through our first reading.
I motioned to approve policy BID, school committee member compensations and expenses, and to waive second reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Bren.
Mr. Robin?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keshurek?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
The committee entertained a consent agenda motion here. Whereas we hear the updates and we do one roll call to approve all in one go. If we're gonna waive the second reading, do that.
I love that idea.
Yes, you know what? Craig, it's your brain, buddy.
All right, go ahead. Tell us all the changes.
All right, BG School Committee Legislative Program, we just reviewed it and it passed the first reading. There's no major changes to it.
Okay.
Oh, next one, sorry.
Mhm.
Middle school, file JJBI, middle school student participation in IAA sports. The only major change we did, we took out where it says and lacrosse and removed S off of sports to make the policy more current.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one, file BG, policy revision and review. We reviewed it and passed the first reading, no major changes. File BG, school committee policy development. We reviewed it and no major changes. Okay, file BDFA, school councils. We reviewed it and no major changes and passed the first reading. File BBE, unexpired term fulfillment. It passed the first reading and no major changes. Hold on, I want to make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, file BIBA, school committee conferences, conventions and workshops. It passed the first reading and no major changes. And not last and not least, file BHE, use of electronic messaging by school committee members. It was reviewed and passed with the first reading and no major changes. That's all we have. And I'd like to thank the policy subcommittee for meeting and going over these policies and reviewing them. And we have some more policies at our next, when we do have our next sub policy committee meeting, to review some more.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. I want to make you do it, since you know the protocol. Pressures,
Okay.
pressures. coming.
So I make a motion to waive the second reading,
Mhm.
right, and approve through consent agenda votes all of the policies that were presented to the committee, including the updated language.
I second.
Any discussion? Brenda, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Robin?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keshurek?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
And Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
All right. Next up is our future business. Our next school committee meeting is June 11th. I'd also like to discuss not having a July meeting because half of us are not going to be here and we don't do a lot during our July meetings anyways. In fact, I think we do nothing. Am I correcting that?
The only thing that you may need to consider, and it certainly could be a quick Zoom call, is if there are any additional budget transfers that may need to be completed in order to close out FY 24. That is the only thing that I can foresee needing the attention of the school committee over the during the month of July. Oh, that's June.
Okay,
I was just gonna say, I will not be here. My chair will also not be, or my vice chair will also not be here, so. And I don't think Jen will be here either. We're at the Cape that week.
I'm probably not
You're not
gonna be
going?
there this year.
I'm actually not leaving for the 13th, so.
Okay, so you can run it. Good to go.
The date can be flexible on that too, and that may not even have to be July, it could be the last week of June, depending on where we are in terms of closing out FY 24.
Okay, perfect.
And like I said, it might be a 5-minute type of meeting.
Okay.
I'm agreeable to not having a July meeting, but if we have to, we can just post it quick.
Okay. And our last topic is adjournment.
That one, quick,
Oh, yeah, you can ask.
sorry.
No problem.
I should have asked it earlier. Mike, when you were talking about, school choice enrollment, I was just wondering if you had an update on kindergarten enrollment for upcoming class?
Currently, there are 23, only 23 students enrolled in kindergarten for school year 24-25. We spent some time today strategizing about how we can try to increase awareness for kindergarten enrollment and screenings, and leveraging social media to try to spread the word. So we also had some, I don't want to get too far off, but we did have some discussion about whether we need to revisit grade structure. If we only have 23 students, that is not a 3-section worthy alignment. And we talked about whether we could, should, or can increase pre-K sections, potentially move a faculty member from kindergarten to pre-K and make 4-year-old full day an option. So those are discussions that are being had and are weighing on all of us. But the hope is that we can increase that number. I will say that 23 as a number between the interested choice families and the birth data is consistent with what would be expected. We are hoping to attract more choice, but the live birth data that would align with kindergarten enrollment next year is about 20. So we're capturing Lee residents who have children. The question is whether we can capture additional students at the pre-K level. And if we were to do that, I would come back to the committee and ask you to reinstitute a tuition for pre-K, something that we waived a couple of years ago. But that would be important for us to do. As part of that process, we are looking into whether we can tuition in students from surrounding districts at the pre-K level. I will tell you that that is not something that I'm familiar with. Mrs. Norton is investigating that for us.
I just have to say, I think full day for 4-year-old preschool would be great. It certainly is in line with like other districts around us. They all have super small full day pre-K, so I think that would be a good move.
The 23 number is concerning though. This year it was 45. Just half.
So based on the census, that's all we have to.
Yeah, so since you looked at
Next
that,
year will be the 2020 baby boom.
yeah, that was good. Are we expecting uptick?
Well, that's the expectation, yeah.
Okay, so the expectation is that we would level back out. to
Right.
Levels, okay, so we're
Yep.
seeing.
But this is a concerning drop.
Yeah.
It does, unfortunately align with, the numbers that we've seen and that have been presented to us by the master planning committee and others.
I mean, my concern is strategically long-term thinking, right? The worst thing you could do is open up a full day 4-year-old program for 1 year and then have that be a community expectation that then gets pulled back the following year to meet.
Right.
New men. So it's just something.
You guys looked at a pre-kindergarten class too?
Just like-
Like not quite ready for kindergarten, but a
Like
little bit
early
too,
K, they
yeah,
call it.
early K,
That was what St. Mary's does.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of options.
Yep, thank you.
I mean, they call it early K.
And I've been in contact with Berkshire Hills.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing that, we've.
Yeah.
So we are monitoring it, and I apologize for not bringing that to your attention.
I guess, thank you, the administrative team
Yeah.
for jumping on that. 23 is a frightening number.
Mhm.
And wow.
It's a third of what we would need when that grade hits seventh grade.
Wow.
Well, on that,
And then, yeah.
Sorry.
sorry.
Thanks, Greg.
Anybody like to make a motion for adjournment?
I motion adjourned.
Second.
Any discussion? Brian, can you roll call us out?
Mr. Robin?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keurig?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes,
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
And Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
we are adjourned at 7:41.